Before the modern age of fake news claims and attacks on reporters by politicians and journalists, the U.S. dealt with a similar situation during the first three presidencies, that of Washington, Adams, and Jefferson. At the crux of many rumors and connivery was the ever so controversial James Thomson Callender, the TMZ of the American Revolution. Callender, born in Scotland, worked as a subclerk and pamphleteer who valued satirical work and attacking political corruption while championing democratic egalitarianism above everything else. After attacking British parliamentary decisions in his pamphlet Political Progress of Britain, or an impartial history of abuses in the government of the British Empire in Europe, Asia, and America from the Revolution in 1688 to the present, he fled, first from Scotland to Ireland, then to the US. Callender didn't slow down his career at this point, and became deeply entrenched in U.S. politics. Callender, being troubled considerably with poverty and unemployment, finally found a role as a congressional reporter in Philadelphia. One of his first notable pieces attacked pro-war sentiment, and soon after he began to develop a more comprehensive body of political work as his newfound political knowledge merged with his moral beliefs. Callender believed in isolationism from Europe and encouraged progressive tax rates while also writing against excise tax to help the poor. He found himself a natural enemy of the Federalists and their boss Alexander Hamilton, along with some fringe members of the nascent Democratic Republican Party. Another one of his more notable works was called A History of the United States for the year 1796, released in 1796. Who would have thought? There he released the first information about Alexander Hamilton's affair with Maria Reynolds, the wife of James Reynolds, Hamilton's business partner. He also wrote about how Hamilton was being blackmailed by her for a third of his annual income and that he was financially corrupt. This resulted in the infamous pamphlet of Hamilton's titled The Reynolds Pamphlet, where Hamilton admitted to the affair but denied any financial wrongdoings. Callender responded with 1798 Sketches of the History of America, where he purported that Hamilton and James Reynolds had corrupt business transactions. To this day, many theories float around as to what happened, and the story has been popularized through the hit Broadway musical Hamilton, but there is no tangible evidence of financial misconduct. Anyways, the effects of the affair on both Hamilton and Callender's careers had no long-standing effect. Callender was dealing with his wife's yellow fever when his anonymously published political broadsides were exposed by rival pamphleteer William Cobbett. This caused him to flee jail time once again from Philadelphia to Virginia. Keep in mind that this took place when the Sedition Act was active. Callender's wife died while he was in Virginia. Thomas Jefferson, a lifelong rival and enemy of Hamilton, funded Callender's writing endeavors for a short period of time, most notably The Prospect Before Us. As you can imagine, Callender was prosecuted for sedition, and he received a $200 fine and was imprisoned longer than any other person arrested under the Sedition Act. The trial was presided over by the soon-to-be-impeached Supreme Court Justice Samuel Chase. Callender was pardoned by Jefferson and the Sedition Act was repealed the first day Jefferson became president. Callender felt like the federal government, along with Jefferson, owed him retribution for his imprisonment. This took the form of the position of postmaster in Richmond, Virginia, prime Federalist territory. Jefferson likened the situation to whacking a hornet's nest with a stick. As you can imagine, Callender did not get the position. Callender soon became the editor of the Federalist newspaper, the Richmond Reporter. He immediately took to attacking Jefferson, revealing that Jefferson was his benefactor. This led to a chain of events where Jefferson denied paying Callender, and Callender then released their letters revealing that Jefferson paid him. Quickly losing all favor he had within the Democratic-Republican party base and finding himself stranded, Callender was personally attacked by Democratic Republicans who claimed his wife died from a venereal disease and was abandoned by Callender. This resulted in Callender revealing Jefferson's relationship with his slave, Sally Hemings. Callender specifically stated, "It is well known that the man whom it delighteth the people to honor keeps and for many years has kept as his concubine one of his slaves. Her name is Sally, the name of her eldest son is Tom. His features are said to bear a striking though sable resemblance to those of the president himself. The boy is 10 or 12 years of age." It is important to keep in mind that Callender wasn't particularly anti-slavery, nor was he an abolitionist. He actually held a similar view to that of Jefferson. You should also note that this allegation that Jefferson had a son with Hemings is true, and that Jefferson guaranteed special protection in the form of emancipation for Hemings and her son in his will. At this point, Callender's career wasn't really that eventful. The last important note is the mystery behind his death. Jefferson now took a bit more of a vocal stance against news publishers, although he followed typical court procedures. A publisher named Harry Croswell was being sued by the state of New York under libel claims for publishing that Jefferson paid Callender to publish calumny against George Washington. While the decision was ultimately deadlocked, a week prior to the trial, James Thomson Callender drowned in the James River in Virginia. Callender was drunk and drowned in 3 feet of water. Callender is a contentious figure in political history. Some people believe that his early attacks on the Federalists weakened their standing in the American public's eyes, especially based on his attacks on John Adams. Others feel that he revealed corruption at the cost of his own reputation. Callender was often labeled as a drunkard, liar, and deviant. Nonetheless, Callender made a notable impact on American politics and set standards for the noteworthiness of news that are followed to this day. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment with what you think I should make a video on next. Thanks for watching Wikipedia Condensed.